I'm Megan Skidmore, and this is Beyond the Shadow of Doubt. I am a woman, daughter, sister, spouse, mother, life coach, and person of faith on a mission to normalize asking questions and allowing doubts, not only in a faith journey, but in all aspects of life. Join me in bringing this traditionally taboo topic out of the shadows of shame and into the sunlight. I'm a firm believer that we normalize through more talking and having more discussion. When we're more authentic about our journey, we are more powerful because shame has no power in the face of authenticity. Come join me in Hopeful Spaces, a Dallas Hope Charities component of Hopeful Discussions, which is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz Financial Services USA. Hopeful Spaces is a monthly parent, caregiver, and ally support group facilitated by Megan Skidmore Coaching. To join is free. Simply send an email to chc@dallashopecharities.org. Welcome and thanks for joining for part 2 of my interview with Liz Thomas, PhD candidate at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. If you haven't already, make sure to listen to part 1 in episode 40. Today we pick up where we left off, talking about the comparison of social constructs to a castle and leaning into the discomfort of the realization that there are multiple ways of being and doing to connect to the divine. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this or any other episode. Shoot me an email at hello@meganskidmorecoaching.com. Now on to the episode.
That in my version of a divine, they are a loving, caring, understanding divine that understands that we're working on the best knowledge that we have and that the basis is love, right? But we also work under the understanding that we are a child of God. And so the brilliance and resilience that other people are having in other ways of life, that goodness and that light is coming from the same source. Yeah. And I'm not going to judge my way, my castle of being built the best, because one day it too will fall down. It's simply a different way. And giving people those examples of hope, of a chance to be different is strengthening to them. And at the sake of being long-winded, I have a wonderful friend, and we've gone back and forth many times as our research interests about Latter-day Saints have been quite similar. Her name is Liz Osler, and she just completed her PhD at Fordham University, and she looked at master narratives of Latter-day Saint women, these stories that eventually become so inset into society that we don't even know really where they came from or how they're working, but we're living by them. And one thing that she said to me on a Zoom call when we were just having a good time together was, why do people think the gospel is breakable? And that really struck me. Why do we think something that if it's our big T, capital T truth, why do we treat it like it's so fragile that we have to just defend it hook, line, and sinker all the time? Why can we not look for examples of how other people are living it in a way that might look different than ours? Why are we scared of breaking it?
That is so powerful.
Isn't it? All credit to her, but it changed my life when she told me that.
Wow. You know what you're explaining, what you're sharing, it only makes sense to me that all loving, all knowing heavenly parents would allow different ways to experience that love and that care and that comfort and that presence in each of our lives, regardless of our address.
Yeah.
Regardless of the color of our skin.
Yeah.
Or our ethnicity. Yeah. Or our customs, our cultures, or the way that we experience others in a loving way. Right, in an attraction sort of way regarding how we identify, or in our gender identity, which, I mean, there's so many things that make us up as humans. That is one part, right? There's so many other ways to experience this human journey on this planet. Yeah. And so, yes, just 1,000 yeses. I work with parents who of all faith backgrounds, really, and a concern when their kiddos distance themselves from their faith of origin is real. And so, of course, it does affect the parents' path and journey, right?
Yeah.
I think if they understood this concept a little bit, if we all understood this concept of the gospel of Jesus Christ is not breakable, and why wouldn't it be manifest in other ways among other peoples and cultures and corners of the earth in ways that are familiar to them?
Exactly.
Because of what their life experience has been, because of where they were born and who their parents were and what their customs were. And even things such as foods and activities and the castles that they lived in, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel my job is to not say I have my own understanding, and that's great, and I'm going to live in that, and I'm going to let other people have theirs, and they're going to live in that. We would become so much stronger if we didn't just see the difference, but if we actually valued it, right? If we actually said, that's not just different, but I have something to learn from that difference. What can I learn? And set aside my assumptions, not to go and learn, I'm so glad my way's so much better. No, to say, what can I take in from someone else? Yeah. How can I increase my understanding?
Yeah. Imagine, I agree. Totally strengthen ourselves as an individual human, but also strengthen our bonds of humanity. If we view the ways people view life that are different from ours, or experience life as different from ours, see that as a gift and not as a threat.
Exactly. I love that. That's a perfect thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to get a little more specific here.
Yeah.
In your studies currently as a PhD candidate, you have a specific group that you are studying and doing research and surveys on. I know that once you receive your PhD, that particular research will conclude.
Yes.
And you have shared with me that you have another idea moving forward, and you've actually already started taking steps toward this next chapter in your research novel, I guess we could say.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share a little bit about what you're currently doing? Because I think that's very interesting and a great study that you're doing, and then segue into your next research project.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the story of a researcher's life. We ask one question and then we have 16 million more, which is exactly how we want it. But for my dissertation, I am looking at understandings of social support among Latter-day Saints in DFW. And what that big long sentence means is, what do Latter-day Saints believe about helping each other? What does it actually look like? We use the words ministering and service. When I say, am I doing my ministering assignment? Does that look different than someone else? And I've been using a comparison of an English-speaking ward and a Spanish-speaking ward, predominantly non-immigrant in the English-speaking ward and predominantly Latino immigrant in the Spanish-speaking ward. And I'm not to the end yet, so I won't make any grand conclusive statement on it. But like you were saying, it has led me to some realizations about how we help each other, and groups that aren't receiving as much support from the church, and definitely don't feel supported by the Church of Jesus Christ in some cases locally in DFW. And one of those groups is the LGBTQIA group. And this isn't surprising, as the church does have very strong stances on the definition of marriage, the definition of gender. And yet we have incredibly strong individuals like yourself that are trying to remain in this community and find a place for all of God's children, and to understand how does one function even if a definition doesn't apply to oneself, right? And what I saw early on in my research for my dissertation is that there are certain things that people feel really comfortable reaching out to fellow church members, to fellow people in their ward to gain support for, and that there are things that don't get that kind of congregation-wide support. So while someone who's sick or is having a baby, they can count on many times, can count on having meals at their door for a few days, or who knows how long. Those that want to talk about how to support LGBTQIA individuals, those that have family members that are LGBTQIA, those that want to put pride flags up, those actions don't end up being supported by the entire congregation for a lot of reasons. There's fear of being kind of being policed by church leaders, by other members. There's an uncertainty of what is one's place within the congregation. Do they feel like they can support a cause because of their calling, because of other people they know in the congregation? That these questions end up creating this situation that I see as kind of like this pillar in the middle, where there are things that the church 100% is eager to support, such as helping people have families, such as helping with economic crises in some cases. But then there are things that fall outside of this pillar. And you get incredibly strong individuals that are caring about the same issue, the same cause, but because they can't mobilize this incredible community that we have as Latter-day Saints, they end up doing it by themselves, increasing that feeling of isolation that we talked about earlier, and increasing their likelihood to burn out. And for these causes, these needs of members within these wards to not be met. And so for my next research, I'm going to turn to that. I'm going to be looking at these maybe not church-sponsored initiatives, but church adjacent initiatives and organizations that are really trying to get at this point of wanting to remain in the faith community, but also wanting to navigate the LGBTQI space with affirmative feelings, with great support, great allyship in ways that perhaps they're not able to do within their congregations right now. So first step to doing that, any researcher will know, is to get some funding for it. I have some of that, so I'm really excited to start talking to people, to dig into it, to attend some of the conferences happening around Utah and other spaces this summer and fall, to see what are people doing. If they're not getting it from their congregations, where are they going for it, and what does that look like?
Unbelievably fascinating. So important. Such brave and courageous work. And I'm going to zero in on the fact that this is real time right now. You and I are talking.
Yeah.
How hard was that to share out loud, knowing that this is going to be published? Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not hard at all, 10 being petrifying, I guess.
You know,
I'm getting really real here.
Yeah, I know. And I love it. To be honest, I'd give it a 7. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. And maybe not for maybe the standard reasons. Am I nervous?
All reasons are okay.
I appreciate that. Am I nervous? Okay. How am I nervous? I am nervous to do this work. I'm nervous to say it out loud because I'm committing to it. I don't feel that this is a cause, a question that can be overlooked. I feel like we need so many more voices. And one of my nervousness is that I am not part of this community. I have not personally gone through these things. So the level of responsibility that I feel to engage with it carefully and deeply is really, really high, because the stakes are so high for those that have skin in this game, right? And I want to be a help.
Don't forget to enter my podcast giveaway, where the first prize is a $100 gift card. To do so, simply leave a review and a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Upload a screenshot to my Google Doc, All the details and the link to enter, including the Google Doc, is in the show notes or in the bio of my Instagram profile.
I'm not oh, go ahead.
I don't want you to lose your train of thought.
Yeah.
But even though you're not part of, I think that's your superpower as far as your advocacy here. The fact that you are a strong ally, that's really what this space needs more of. So please don't underestimate or be nervous because you don't identify or have a child that identifies as Q+.
I appreciate that.
Allies are essential, absolutely essential.
I appreciate that. And I'm excited to learn how to do it better, to do it more loudly, more, I don't know, to do the work that so many amazing individuals are already doing. Am I nervous to approach this topic? No, I'm not. I want us to have conversations. I want to have things to start conversations. I want to understand. I want to sit with this community that if they don't have a place in my faith, I don't think my faith is where it needs to be yet, right? And you asked this, and to be completely transparent, had you asked me that question about 5 years ago, I would never ever have considered studying the experience of LGBTQI members of the church. I wouldn't, because my testimony wasn't there yet, because I didn't know how to grapple with it. And honestly, I've only been able to come to this space where I'm not only okay with asking these questions, okay with saying them out loud, but eager and like getting that researcher impulse, like what's the next thing I can do to get at this? Who can I talk to? Who can I meet? But you have been so key to that, Megan, like watching your family, you allowing me into that space, like in so many ways, and to cluing me in and to teaching me so much has been so essential in helping me to be comfortable doing that research.
Well, and it goes both ways, right? Because I've recently seen in some parent groups that I'm a part of, that they've had leaders ask them, meaning parents of LGBTQ plus kiddos, what does a safe space mean? And I think it's a genuine question on their part.
Yeah.
And I absolutely know the divine was present in my life in introducing you and another individual I'm going to have on the podcast soon, or depending on when this publishes, maybe I already have Emily as well, because you were both safe spaces that I could just share about what was going on in my life and what the reality of it truly was. And you were not quick to insert your current, or at that time, current understandings or paradigms surrounding what I was sharing with you. So it goes both ways. And wow, this is a really real interview. And I haven't felt these jitters in a while. That's so funny. So interesting. I'm just, being real here, noticing it. And I'm really touched by so much of what you said, that this cannot be overlooked, that the stakes are high for those that have skin in this game. And that is so true. Because we all love our families. And not just our immediate ones. And if we want to zoom out to throw a fun little metaphor into the mix here, like literally zoom out, we're all family.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all family. We all have the same, well, we might call it different names. We might feel it or experience it in different ways. And that's actually what makes it so beautiful. But we all have heavenly parents who love us very much, or God, or the divine, or a power greater than us all, the universe. However you experience that, I believe you, and I know that God speaks to us in many ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this has been so lovely. Are there any other things that have crossed your mind as we've been talking, or even before, we started this meeting here, that you would like to leave with our listeners or share?
I think the one last thing that has really helped me, that's giving me a different perspective, is as a scientist, science is slow. Science comes from asking a single question and then chasing the answer, sometimes for months or years, and then analyzing the data. And sometimes as a human being, you analyze it dead wrong and you have to go back and you have to do it again. And then you figure out that there's something else you need to do. And so I think the patience that comes with engaging in this, engaging with a faith community, it's kind of like a great big social experiment. I think that's why the divine puts us together and tells us, at least for Latter-day Saints, that we have to meet together oft. It's part of the plan that we have to grapple with these things in community, and just remembering that the thing that we, our understanding of atoms, our understanding of DNA, of how and why plants grow, it came from a scientist sitting and literally watching a plant grow for however long that took. So just having that in mind of just don't give up. We have to keep doing it. We have to do it together. We have to give space for someone else to do it too, but that we are going forward, that we are going to gain more knowledge when we're trying to seek it, even if it's complicated and messy and we screw up the first 5,000 times.
Those are such wise words. And I love your focus on the process and on doing your best to have patience, resisting that temptation to jump to conclusions or think you have it figured out, when there's still so much more to be learned, discovered, experienced. I could say mistakes to be made, but I really view mistakes are really just learning opportunities. I don't view them so much as mistakes. It's like, okay, we learned what didn't go right, what not to do next time.
Definitely.
That's probably a better way to put it. What not to do next time.
Yep.
So amazing. I like to finish off with one last question, and that is, what does it mean to you, Liz, to live beyond the shadow of doubt?
Yeah. It means that the shadow is my friend. When you pose that question to me in preparation for the interview, if you can't tell, I'm really big on like visuals. And so for me, when I see the shadow of doubt, it's there I am, and I'm standing and I'm moving, forward, left, right, center, back, in whatever direction. And there's the shadow, and then there's the light, and the questions that I'm asking and the things that I'm doing, that line between the shadow and the light, it isn't static. It's moving, and it's not straight either. And it's not moving in one direction or another, that it can be totally amorphous. And I can get one little answer, like when I'm doing research, and then I have 6 more questions. And so maybe the shadow extends a little bit to the left, but it's shrinking to the right. And just being okay with them existing in harmony, knowing that while there's doubt, that there is light. Yeah. And so we don't have to be scared of what we don't know, because we know in the past, some part of light has entered our lives. And it's only a matter of time, whether that's a long time or a short time, when other parts of the shadow that we're so scared of right now, when eventually that'll be light. And to just be there.
Wow. That gave me chills. That is such an amazing explanation. So vivid. And yes, visual. Ooh, I love it. I love it so much. I could talk for another couple of hours.
You and I will. We will.
We will. You are right about that. Oh my goodness, Liz. I've loved this so much. I always throw out some one-word answer required questions. Well, they're not required, but I like to ask a list of spontaneous questions that I don't tell you about.
Oh gosh, okay.
They just require 1-word, 2-word answers, just to get to know you a little bit more for funsies. What is your favorite book?
Oh, Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley.
Wow. I have not even heard of that.
It's great.
I will look into that. Fun. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Solid introvert. Solid.
I think you're kind of down the middle. You have your extrovertish moments.
Extroverted introvert. Like I get really excited when I'm around other people, and then I go home and I have to nap for like 3 days after a really good conversation. I took a nap to prepare for this interview.
Fair enough. Your favorite artist?
Oh, that's hard. Okay, it's Pablo Picasso because of one painting he did called Acostado con Gato. And it's like this naked person with a cat on them. And like, it's like the cat's like jumping on them in the middle of the night. And I'm like, I totally vibe with Pablo Picasso, because who with a cat that sleeps in their house has not had that moment when you are awake at some sudden moment because your cat jumped on you?
That is hilarious. You are, that is very fitting for you. Are you a night owl or a morning lark?
Morning lark.
Yeah,
3 a.m. over 9 p.m. any day.
I can't do that.
I know, I'm weird, but I love it.
I love it too. Okay, do you have a celebrity crush?
David Archuleta. It's got to be. Yeah.
Yep. Love me some David Archuleta.
I know.
Sure. Do you like still or carbonated water, or do you do soda, like diet soda?
Oh, still. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. Good old tap water.
And filtered. Lastly, the furthest place you've traveled.
Oh, which direction? I don't even know the distance. Okay, furthest kind of horizontally would probably be Germany.
Okay.
And then furthest vertically would be Brazil.
Oh, fun times. I love to travel. Well, please share where people can connect with you, find you, and if they want to know more about your research, how they can do that.
Yeah, so that's every academic's dream, right? So if you want to read my work, read my research, you can find it on Google Scholar, Elizabeth Bingham Thomas. If it's an anthropology journal, then that's me. If you can't find it that way, because if you haven't spent 6 years learning how to do academic research, that's okay. Just you can email me, and it's totally open to email me at my school email. It's lbingham, BINGHAM @smu.edu. You can also Google me and find my webpage at SMU to get that information as well.
Awesome. And so when you do begin more active research in your next research project at the intersection of LDS and LGBTQ+, this is also where folks can reach you if
Totally. My academic email will likely change depending on what institution I'm at after graduation, but academics are always Googleable to figure out where we are and what we're doing. So
they could always check in with me too.
Totally. Because you're not getting rid of me.
Nope, I'm not. You better not. No. Oh, I just, so many chills, so many warm and fuzzy feelings. I'm so excited for you and all that you have learned, and in how you are sharing your magic with the world through research in such important and needed spaces. So thank you.
It is an honor to be with you today, Megan. Oh.
Same. So much love to you.
Same to you.
Beyond the Shadow of Doubt is a proud member of the Dialogue Podcast Network, which is a part of the Dialogue Journal found at dialoguejournal.com/podcast network. Founder Eugene England was a Mormon writer, teacher, and scholar who wrote, "My faith encourages my curiosity and awe. It thrusts me out into relationship with all creation and encourages me to enter into dialogue. My hope is that this podcast is an extension of that vision." Thanks for joining today. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and follow Beyond the Shadow of Doubt podcast. Also, don't forget to enter my podcast giveaway, where the first prize is a $100 gift card. To do so, simply leave a review and a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and upload a screenshot to my Google Doc. Share this giveaway with a friend and make sure they jot your name down. If your friend's name is drawn as winner, you both get a $100 gift card. All the details and the link to enter including the Google Doc, is in the show notes or in the bio of my Instagram profile. Visit meganskidmorecoaching.com, where you can find this podcast as well as additional free resources. Check the podcast show notes on any platform for links to sources cited. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram for more and to send me a DM. To help the podcast grow, please follow, rate, and review, as well as share it with a friend.